Hello my dear students, welcome to RK Academy. My dear students, in the last session we had discussed about the skeletal system and also we had uploaded the particular video on the YouTube and also we had uploaded on the particular video in the RK Academy app. So my dear students, in this session we will discuss about the human digestive system. What is that? Human digestive system. Here you should have the basic definition for the digestion. Fine. So in this session we will discuss about the digestive system. So can you define what is digestion? Can you define this? What is digestion? Here digestion means the breakdown of the complex food molecules into the simple food molecules is called as digestion. But it should be done with the presence and with the help of glands and enzymes also. What is that? Glands and enzymes also. See here, in this particular digestion, it is done in the small insects in the from invertebrates to the vertebrates, such as the largest well-developed animal is human being and the low-developed organism is bacteria. So here from the lower organisms to the higher organisms, this is the common process, this is the common path and this is the common thing for all organisms. But the mode of digestion is different in different organisms, basing on the complexity of the nature, complexity of the body and the complexity of the organization they had done. Fine. So here digestion means breakdown of the complex food molecules. What is that? Breakdown of the complex food molecules into the simple food molecules. What is that? Simple food molecules. Breakdown of the complex food molecules into the simple food molecules in the presence of enzymes and also the glands. What is that? Enzymes and also the glands. Here the breakdown of the complex food molecules and into the simple food molecules in the presence of enzymes and glands is called as digestion. But what is the use of the digestion? After the food we took into our body, that gets digested and it produces energy to our body. What does it produce? Energy to our body. So here what is energy? Energy means glucose, and I would give a formula, that is C6 and H12O6. This is the formula of this particular glucose. In this particular glucose, this is used for our body and it is supplied to the every cell in our body, Each cell get utilized this glucose and produces a result, and it is also it produces and it is useful for the conduction of the metabolic activities in our body. What is that? Metabolic activities in our body. Fine. And this particular glucose is stored in which cell organelle? And can I ask you one question? After the complete digestion, glucose is produced in our body and it is stored in the mitochondria. So where does the mitochondria located? And it is located and that surrounds the nucleus in each cell. That means the particular mitochondria is present in the cytoplasm of the cell. What is that? Cytoplasm of the cell. Cytoplasm of the cell. Here, what is cell? Cell is a basic structural and functional unit of any organism. What is that? Basic structural and functional unit of any organism. And it possesses a nucleus. What is that? It possesses a nucleus. And a nucleus that is surrounded by the so many cell organelles. Here cell organelles means these are the smallest parts and these are the various structures that is present and that surrounds the nucleus and is present within the cytoplasm. What is that? Within the cytoplasm, and this could be the cytoplasm. And this particular cytoplasm possesses cell organelles. Among the cell organelles, a particular organelle is there that is called as mitochondria. And what does the mitochondria and what does it mean? And this particular mitochondria stores glucose stores glucose and supplies energy to the every cell in the form of ATP, and it converts the particular glucose into ATP. So, here glucose is stored in the mitochondria and it is oftenly called as powerhouses of the cell. What is that? Powerhouses of the cell. Mitochondria is considered as powerhouse of the cell because it stores the glucose, whatever the glucose is synthesized by the digestion of the food molecules, and that particular glucose is supplied to the every cell of the body in the form of ATP. What is that? ATP. And can you define, can you expand the ATP? Here what would you say about the ATP? So, I would say ATP means adenosine triphosphate. What is that? Adenosine triphosphate. And this particular ATP is supplied and supplemented to the every cell of a body. So, this ATP is called as cell currency. What is that? ATP is called as cell currency. So, what is the expansion form of ATP? They may ask you in the examination, what is ATP? ATP means adenosine triphosphate. What's that? Adenosine triphosphate. Fine. Adenosine triphosphate. And it was discovered by whom? Who discovered the ATP? And it was discovered by, ATP was discovered by, I would say, Subbarao is a person who discovered ATP. Who is that? Subbarao. And the second one is Lohmann. Who is that? Lohmann. And the third one is Fliesky. Who is that? Fliesky. These are the three persons who discovered the ATP. Fine. And come to the next one. And this is mitochondria. What is this? Mitochondria. And this particular mitochondria was discovered by Kolliker and Palade. Who is that? Kolliker and Palade. Fine. These two guys discovered the mitochondria and it was named by the name of the mitochondria was given by C. Benda. Who is that? C. Benda is a person who named the mitochondria, and it was discovered by Kolliker and Palade. And who discovered ATP? Here ATP means it could be oftenly called as cell currency, and it is adenosine triphosphate, and it was discovered by Subbarao, Lohmann, and third one is Fliesky. So that I think so you get an idea about the digestion. You got an idea about the digestion. What is digestion? Here the digestion means the breakdown of the complex food molecules into the simple food molecules in the presence of enzymes and glands is called as digestion. And after the complete digestion, what would you get? That is glucose. And that particular glucose is supplied to the every cell of a body in the form of ATP. And who stores the particular glucose? Glucose is stored by the mitochondria. And this particular mitochondria was discovered by Palade and Kolliker. And it was named by C. Benda. Who named the mitochondria? C. Benda. Fine. And come to the next one. See, next one is, here the food, whatever the food we give into our body and it is digested and it makes complete activity by the presence of enzymes and glands, ultimately it produces glucose to our body. So, here the supplement of the food, to an organism in the form of food such as nutrients. What is that? Nutrients. Whatever the food we took into our body that has nutrients. And what is nutrients? These are categorized into the 5 types, basically 5 types. And also 6th one is also there. This is carbohydrate, and then second one is protein, and third one is lipid. What is that? Third one is lipid, and fourth one is minerals. And the fifth one is vitamins. Who discovered vitamins? It is Casimir Funk. And last one is water. These are categorized into the nutrients. Here The first three, whatever the first three I had written here, these are the carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, oftenly called as macronutrients. What is that? Macronutrients. And we will have discussion on the nutrition topic. Fine. Here, and what is the next third one? This is minerals, this is vitamins, and this is water. And these three oftenly called as micronutrients. What is that? Micronutrients. Okay. Hence, I would like to say you one definition. The procurement of the nutrients is called as nutrition. That means the supplying of the nutrients to our body is called as nutrition. And this type of nutrition, this particular nutrition is of two types. That means those organisms which prepares the food by themselves, which means that doesn't depends on any other organism. Such type of organisms is called as autotrophic organisms, and such type of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. And can we have an example for this? Yes, we have an example for the autotrophic nutrition. Can I say the plants? Is plants depends on any other organism? Not at all. Plants can depend by themselves, and they prepare the food by themselves and survive themselves without any help from any other organism. Such type of such type of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. And for instance, if we take an example, human beings depends on the other organisms, such that for example, if we take an example, if I procure the food or I procure the nutrients to my body, and such type of nutrients gets based on the plant products. For example, if I take rice, that particular rice is taken from the rice plant, and that is the plant, and we are the organism, we are the animal. So we depends on the other organism. Such type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. What is that? Heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, sir. Let's have a glimpse on that. Now, autotrophic nutrition. What is autotrophic nutrition? Already I told you that autotrophic nutrition means those organisms who doesn't depend on the other organisms for the survival of themselves and for the procurements of the nutrients. Such type of nutrients is called as autotrophic nutrients. And here in this autotrophic nutrition, how do the plants get food? Here the plants gets food. The plants get food through photosynthesis. What is that? Photosynthesis. Here photosynthesis means here by using the sunlight and chlorophyll of the plant, chlorophyll of the leaves, they can prepare the food such as glucose. What is that? Glucose. And I would write C6H12O6, it is the basic formula of glucose. And plants prepare their food by using sunlight, and there is a pigment that is present in the leaves of the plants, and that particular pigment is responsible for the green color of the leaf, and that particular pigment is called as chlorophyll. What is that? Chlorophyll. Here the chlorophyll is of two types, chlorophyll A and that is chlorophyll B. What is that? Chlorophyll A, and the second one is chlorophyll B. Here the green color of the leaves is due to the presence of chlorophyll. So this such type of chlorophyll is useful for the photosynthesis. And plants also prepare the glucose by using the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and it produces water vapor and glucose and also oxygen. Such type of oxygen can be taken by us. So here plants take carbon dioxide, whatever the gas we exhaled out from our body, and it gets absorbed by the plants, and which utilizes the particular carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. They used to prepare the glucose and also gives water vapor and also gives oxygen to us, whatever the air we breathe into our body. Fine. And now I would like to write now, that is photosynthetic equation. What is that? Photosynthetic equation. Here what is photosynthetic equation? Whatever the words are spoken now, that could be written in the form of a definition. Now plants can take carbon dioxide, that is 6 CO2, and plants also take water and 12 H2O, and with the presence of, with the help of sunlight, and second one is chlorophyll. What is that? Chlorophyll. In the presence of 6 CO2 and 12 H2O, by using the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, plants can prepare glucose. What is that? Glucose, C6H12O6 plus 6O2. What is that? 6O2 and 6H2O. And here already I told you that water is the vapor. It is in the vapor form. It relieves the particular water vapor through the stomata of the particular leaves. Okay, and it was discovered by Van Niel. Who discovered this? Van Niel. And this particular photosynthesis can be done in the sunlight and in the dark light. And basing on the dependence of the reaction, it is divided into two types. And this particular photosynthesis done in the presence of light reactions. Light, which such type of reaction is called light reactions, and the second one is dark reaction. What is that? Light reaction and dark reaction. In the light reaction, we can see the photolysis of the water. What is photolysis of the water? Whatever the water we gave into the plant, we gave to the plants, and it is dissociated into OH minus and H plus ions, and this is called as photolysis of water. What is this? Photolysis of water. And it was discovered by sorry, it is not Van Niel, and it was discovered by Robert Hill. What is that? Robert Hill. And it could be called as Hill's reaction. What is that? Hill's reaction. Hill's reaction means photolysis of water. Here what is photolysis? The particular H2O water molecule get dissociated into OH minus and H plus ions. Okay, and such type of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. What is that? Autotrophic nutrition. What is that? Autotrophic nutrition. Fine. And come to the next one. The next thing is, if you see the heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition means those organisms which depends on the other organism for the survival and for the food. Such type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. What is that? Heterotrophic nutrition. What is that? Heterotrophic nutrition. In the heterotrophic nutrition, this particular organisms depends on the other organisms for the survival of themselves. Here I would like to differentiate the heterotrophic nutrition to the three types. What were that? And let we have a look on that. Here types of heterotrophic nutrition, and first one is saprophytic or saprotropic nutrition is there. Saprotropic nutrition. Here I would like to give you an example. If you take fungi, what is that? If you take fungi, these feeds on the dead and decaying matter. What is that? This depends on the dead and decaying matter, whatever the organisms and whatever the plant products that gets died in the particular areas, and they get fed up by the fungi, and includes bacteria, fungi, which digest the food externally before the nutrients are absorbed. Here what is this mean? The particular dead and decaying matter is there in the environment, and that gets fed up by the bacteria and fungi. What is that? Bacteria and fungi. And also what is that? Fungi which digest the food externally. In the external environment, it digests that before the nutrients are absorbed. Before the nutrients are, whatever the nutrients are there, before the nutrients that gets digested, before that it fades on the dead and decaying material, after that nutrients are there. And also I would like to say this particular saprophytic nutrition is saprotropic nutrition is particularly it is useful for us only, because if not means if there is no bacteria and if there is no fungi in the environment means the organisms gives us the bad smell to us, and also it also pollutes the air, it also pollutes the water, and it also pollutes the soil in the environment. So here this particular bacteria and fungi digest the materials, whatever the materials are there in the environment. Hence these could be called as natural scavengers of the earth. What is that? Natural scavengers of the earth. What is that? Natural scavengers of the earth, because it clears the soil. Okay, it clears the soil. And what is the second one? Parasitic nutrition. What is parasitic nutrition? Here parasitic nutrition itself indicates which depends on the other organisms, where one organism gets benefit and other organism gets disturbed, and other organism doesn't get any benefit from the first organism. Here obtains nutrients from living organisms, and parasite obtain nutrients by living on or in the body of the host. Here this particular parasitic nutrition, those organisms which depends on the others by the external or internal environment. Okay, external or internal environment, and which also disturbs the other organisms. And here I would like to say prey and predator are the two things, where the prey gets benefit and other one doesn't get any benefit from the first one. So for example, if we take the cuscuta plant, what is that? Cuscuta plant and tapeworm which is present inside our body, inside the stomach. So if we take the cuscuta, what is cuscuta? Here it is having a small information, just look it out. And if I take cuscuta, it is a plant, where the tendrils are seen. What is that? Where the tendrils are seen. If you take in some plants the leaves, from the leaves there is a spiral coiled tendrils are there. For example, if you take the cucumber family, what is that? Cucumber family. In the cucumber family, you would see the tendrils, stem tendrils are there. As same, here tendrils means there are a spiral like tendrils. Cuscuta, for example, let's have an example for the cuscuta. Here a plant is named as dodder. What is that? Dodder. And it oftenly called as cuscuta, and it belongs to Convolvulaceae family. Which family? Convolvulaceae family. And it is having 170 twinning species. How many species are there? 170 twinning species are there in the Convolvulaceae family. And these particular plants send their vegetative part, such as Hostoria. What is that? Hostoria. Hostoria is a part, for example, if we take a plant, here these are the tendrils and which merges into the other plant, and this is called as Hostoria. The Hostoria merges into the phloem of the another plant. What is that? Phloem is a nutritive tissue in the plants, and it merges into the phloem, and it took out all those nutrients, whatever the nutrients and water and food molecules are there in the particular plant. Okay, here come to the next one, holozoic nutrition. What is that? Holozoic nutrition. What is holozoic nutrition? Let's have a look on that. Holozoic nutrition. These organisms fed by ingesting solid organic matter, which is then digested and absorbed into their bodies. Here those organisms which feed on the solid organic matter. What is that? Solid organic matter. And such type of nutrition is called as holozoic nutrition. What is that? Holozoic nutrition. Example, human beings and animals can be taken as the best example. And what is the next one? Next one is heterotrophic nutrition is also there. What is that? Already you know that heterotrophic nutrition, and mixotropic nutrition is also there. And what is the mixotropic nutrition? Here those organisms which depends on the sunlight, and in some other times it doesn't depend on the sunlight. so that it performs two things. In the presence of sunlight and in the absence of sunlight. For instance, if we have an example, that is euglena. What is that? Euglena shows two types of nutrition. Such type of nutrition is called as mixotropic nutrition. What is that? Mixotropic nutrition. What is that? Mixotropic nutrition. This is all about the nutrition. Thank you, my dear students.